Hey everybody, this is Kirsten. Some people call me Kay. I am the director and founder of Legacy Motion, and I'm also one of the lead co-facilitators of our upcoming 300-hour trauma-informed facilitator training with Amanda at Somatics. So I'm so excited to be here to give you a little bit more information about what this training actually is. So we have this lovely 300-hour training, trauma-informed facilitator training that really focuses on somatics, so the body, the mind, and the connection between the two. But I want to give you a little bit of a breakdown. So the training in and of itself starts on October 17th. So it's coming up fast and it lasts until June 4th, but it's broken up into 3 modules. So module 1, module 2, and module 3. They're all 9 weeks long with 2 weeks in between to let everything integrate and kind of ferment and let you fall down and get down those rabbit holes that really interest you so that we can bring all of that back up when you meet us again for the next module. So it's flexible, right? Flexible schedule. It's online and we're trying to make it as accessible as possible. So it's tiered pricing. We also have scholarships available, but let me get into the nitty gritty for a second. So we have our 3 different modules. First module, module 1, is trauma, accessibility, and diversity, expanding your trauma-informed toolkit. So really what we're doing here is we're going to talk about and understand trauma a little bit better. So defining trauma, we're going to get into different aspects of trauma, but we're also going to talk about how can we make our offerings more accessible and how can we embrace diversity in our spaces and actually not only embrace it, but encourage it. So how do we do this work? And expanding your trauma-informed toolkit. So really starting to understand what the basics and foundations are, skill-wise and tool-wise and method-wise, as to how we can create braver and safer spaces within a trauma-informed scope. So this is really our bread and butter for this particular module. Again, it starts on October 17th, and this module goes until December 18th. Now, all of these modules you can go ahead and sign up individually for if you want to, but they comprehensively come together in the 300-hour training. So our second module is module 2, which is somatic, it's embodied practices, supportive somatic methods. So this is one of my favorite modules. We really get, while the work that we're doing tends to be a little bit yoga focused, this one gets into all of the movement modalities further. We talk about dance as medicine. We talk about Qigong as a moving meditation. We go into trauma-informed meditation. We have guest facilitators for all of these amazing topics. And each of the modules also includes anatomy. So we have an introduction to embodying philosophy here. And also really, what is the trauma threat response and how is this affecting our bodies and how can we work in order to close loops and create space in the nervous system? This particular module goes into pendulation and titration. It goes into really starting to embrace and understand orienting, grounding, resourcing, all of these things, all of these methods and tools that we can use within a trauma-informed scope that supports somebody's nervous system through movement-based practices. So we're really diving into it in module 2. And module 2 starts on January 9th and goes through March 12th, again, 9 weeks. And each of the modules as well, I wanna put this in there, offers opportunity for practice. So practice teaching, practice offering. The last week is all practice, but you're gonna get moments in there online as well with the group. And so our cohort this year is limited to 20 people. And this is to make sure that Amanda and I can support everybody individually and also to ensure that we're building community. And we really are inviting everybody in to continue to build within the framework of what they're looking and to do within the intention of their learning process, but also to support the community as a whole. And this community is international. So it includes our guest facilitators who are coming in from all over the world. I think we have 12 or 13 of them. And it also includes past cohorts. So you'll get to build and add yourself and your skills and your wisdom into this ongoing growing community. And it's really exciting. We have 2 community gatherings online every module. And one of those will include a community gathering with past cohort individuals and participants. So this is a really great opportunity to talk to people who've gone through the training already, see how they're already implementing some of the information, and also ask questions of all of us and start and continue some of these really interesting conversations around trauma and accessibility and social justice and systemic change. So all of the things that are really, really important in our world right now. And that leads me to module 3. So module 3 is social justice and systemic change, the body as a catalyst for equity. So how do we actually use these practices? Yes, in our own systems, and yes, in our own offerings, but and beyond that, how do we go beyond in order to really, really start to understand our responsibility as a trauma-informed facilitator and what that means in larger systems? And this will include discussions in intrinsic bias and cultural appropriation, really starting to dive into nature and support of allyship and ancestry. So we have, again, many, many guest facilitators that are coming in for these discussions with you all within this training, and finding our own voice within being an ally, so that equity is actually that. It is for every human being, and also beyond that, right? Every living thing. So this is really what we're getting into when we talk about living a trauma-informed life. And so, yes, this training is talking about trauma-informed movement, trauma-informed facilitation, trauma-informed tools and methods that we can use within the body and the mind-body connection, but it's also about living a trauma-informed life and going beyond. Right? Continuing how you show up in the world and what that really means within this scope. And we really get into this in module 3. So module 3 begins on April 3rd and it ends on June 4th, again, 9 weeks. And the practicums here will get you ready for your final practicum that will happen at the end of the training. So we offer a certificate of completion, and also know that we are in the process of getting this training recognized both by Yoga Alliance and by Yoga Alliance professionals. So, and also in New Zealand, and Amanda can talk to you about this a little bit more, but including it in continuing education hours for mental health care practitioners and professionals. So this is really exciting. We're really trying to ensure that with this training, you can really do the work and do what you want to do within your scope of practice, and then continue with your education beyond that. And we want to also hold space for the fact that we hope to be able to be there as a part of that beyond this training as well. And so the training is designed for experienced or new and novice yoga teachers, yoga business owners, studio owners, hoping to integrate trauma-informed practices into their communities, into their offerings, into their studios or online, any classes or things that are already present within their spaces, or new ones that we can hopefully start to cultivate. It's also designed for certified body workers, coaches, and retreat facilitators, healthcare, therapeutic, social service, and community professionals hoping to integrate body-based practices with a trauma-informed approach into their existing practice, organization, or work. So, yeah. It's also designed for educators, humanitarian professionals, and first responders. Basically anyone interested in understanding more about trauma, the biology of trauma, the physiology of trauma, and how it might be affecting those that they work with. And business professionals as well. We have had multiple people in past cohorts that have come in from a corporate setting looking for ways to better integrate trauma-informed practices within those corporate settings. So really people who are seeking new insights into how to manage from a trauma-informed scope and the benefits of doing so. Also activists, right? Humanitarians, social justice advocates hoping to add somatic awareness, embodied practices, and community connection to their social justice, and systemic change agendas. So it's really for so many people, also those wanting to deepen their own understanding of movement, and how it can be used as an integrated tool in processing and experiencing everyday life, right? Because trauma is not something that we get rid of. It's something that is part of the human experience, but we nurture our capacity in order to ensure our ability to move beyond and continue a more holistic experience in this lifetime. Yeah. So we have tiered pricing available. There's 3 tiers. You can go ahead and look that up and all that information, because there's a lot of different currency in there. So I don't want to give you a price and have it be confusing. But you can choose your tier. We also have a scholarship available. And so that scholarship application is due on September 12th. So please, please, please apply. And also know that if you don't receive a scholarship, that we can set up a payment plan with you. That's, the most convenient for you. We want to try and make this accessible. It's really important to us that this information gets out there and it starts to be implemented in the spaces and places that we're already doing the good work. Also, for the schedule, this is one that we hear a lot. So this is an online training. And basically the schedule is broken down. We have so many time zones that are coming in, but our primary time zone is Auckland, New Zealand time. So I know that that's not convenient for everybody, but what we've done is that we've offered the first session. So we have 2 lectures a week, and those 2 lectures a week are 2 hours each. And they're each 2 different topics. So we can call them 2 sessions. So session 1 is available Auckland time, either Wednesday nights from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. or Thursday mornings from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And that'll rotate. So it's going to depend on the scheduling and the topic, where I am in the world, where Amanda is in the world. And so keeping that in mind, and that schedule will be broken down for you in every module. So it's very clear as to when those lectures are happening online live. They're also recorded. So know that if for some reason the time zone doesn't work out, for example, if I'm in North America and the lecture happens to be on Wednesday night, that's like, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So I'm definitely not going to make it then. Hopefully I'll be dreaming and sleeping. But if the lecture happens to be on Thursday morning, then that's actually Wednesday afternoon in North America. So, we understand that it's not going to be possible for everybody to make every single lecture. So we're giving some leeway there, but obviously catching up on the recordings will be required. And then the second session every week will be on Sunday mornings from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Auckland, New Zealand time, which is Saturday afternoons, basically almost Saturday afternoons, Saturday evenings, basically almost anywhere else in the world. So this one is a little bit more accessible. So we're trying to make it, at least you'll be able to make 1 session per week online live, and then possibly have to make up another one online through the recordings, depending on where you are in the world. Obviously, it's geared towards Auckland time. So those of you that are on New Zealand time, you have a little bit of an advantage. But like I said, we're trying to make it as accessible as possible. We also have community practice every week, and those are facilitated either by myself or by Amanda or by our guest facilitators. We want to make sure that you're exposed to as many practices as possible. It's also a wonderful way for you to gauge how it is that you are growing and expanding, and your awareness is shifting throughout this particular training. So those community practices will either be live online or they'll be recorded, and it just depends on the capacity and the availability of ourselves or the guest facilitator for that week. And again, they'll be recorded, so all of them will be recorded, so you can practice at any time of your week if you can't make it live online. And those will rotate, and that goes in the big schedule that when you register you will get. So hopefully that makes sense. Also, every module, you'll have 2 opportunities to check in with either myself or Amanda. We put you into smaller pods, basically splitting you in half, so that then Amanda and I will be able to support you individually a little bit better throughout the entire training. And so those happen during specific weeks, and we go ahead and email you and find time within your schedule to meet with you and have those check-in moments. Obviously, we welcome additional ones if you need them, but you have an opportunity to meet with us twice during every single module. and it rotates. So if you have me as your main facilitator for module 1, then you'll have Amanda for module 2, and then module 3 is just a free-for-all. So we kind of try and figure that out. What else am I forgetting? Yeah, so I think that's our general information. We're getting feedback from our last cohort, which I want to add, and people that have continued their education in trauma and also some of these other modalities after the 300-hour. And one of the things that I've noticed and that they've said is that this training has really prepared them for everything else. We touch upon so many different elements within this training that there's a familiarity they have mentioned that has already present when they are going into a new training. And that foundation that we're providing within this 300-hour and beyond foundation, right? We're going a little bit deeper in some of these practices. People have mentioned has been so helpful and so illuminating is the best word that I can think of. And I hope that's helpful as you decide to possibly join us within this new cohort coming up this year. So please let us know if you have any questions. You can check out everything on the Somapsych website, which is www.somapsych, SOMAPSYCH.org. And then you can also email either Amanda@somapsych.org or director@Legacy-Motion. Okay, so any other questions that I can think that people ask for this little information session? I think that's about it. So I'll leave you with all that information. Hopefully that was helpful, a little bit of clarity. And like I said, also the scholarships are up on the Somapsych website. You can get that link there if you're interested in applying for a scholarship. Remember, deadline is September 12th. And yeah, we really hope that you'll join us. We're really excited about this next round. And Amanda and I have done so much work to make sure that the information that we're offering you is cohesive and accessible and supportive and cutting edge. So really always updating all of our information to all of the new and exciting research that's been happening in somatic therapy and beyond. So thank you so much. I look forward to hearing all of your questions. Let me know if you need anything. And again, check out the website and the information there. And hopefully we'll see you soon in October. Thanks a lot. Bye.